requested by you out there. And I see somebody saying, congratulations to all participants of today's song selections. It's because of your request that we've had such a powerful session this afternoon. My name is Man Karis, and it's time for us to break bread. And we are live on Facebook at Hope FM Live, Pale XP at Hope FM Live, and also on Instagram. If you can go there, uniambie kama unanipata vizuri, kama sauti iko fiti, so that I know what to change, and even as we share the word of God. And today I'm reading from Isaiah chapter 28, Isaiah chapter number 28. And I'm going to start from verse 23 to 29. That is Isaiah 28, verse 23 to 29. And Isaiah 28, talks about the leaders of Ephraim and Judah. It starts with the woe to the wrath, the pride of Ephraim's drunkards, to the fading flower, his glorious beauty, set on the head of a fertile valley, to that city, the pride of those laid low by wine. That is, it's a woe to the leaders of Ephraim and Judah. And verse 23 says this: Listen and hear my voice. Pay attention and hear what I say. When a farmer plows for planting, does he plow continually? Does he keep on breaking up and working the soil? When he has leveled the surface, does he not sow caraway and scatter cumin? Does he not plant wheat in its place, barley in its plot, and spelt in its field? His God instructs him and teaches him the right way. Caraway is not threshed with a sledge, nor is the cartwheel rolled over cumin. Caraway is beaten out with a rod and cumin with a stick. Grain must be ground to make bread. So one does not go on threshing it forever. The wheel of a threshing cart may be rolled over it, but one does not use horses to grind grain. All this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent. All this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent. Wow. Listen and hear my voice. Pay attention and hear what I say. When a farmer plows for planting, does he plow continually? And I know this is the season, farmers are preparing to plant. It's a season. Itakuwa 1 week. Then the other week, tunamwaga mbolea or something. Like, it's not continually. There is a season. It's systematic. And this is what the word of God says. And even comes to the harvest, for example. How you toa maragwe is not how you toa mahindi, for example. There is a way things are done. He says the wheels of threshing cart may be rolled over it, but one does not use horses to grind grain. Using a horse to grind grain is actually misplacing. It's misusing. There's a way it's supposed to be done. You can use it, you spoil the grain. And what the word of God here is telling us is that all these things that we get to do, all these things, all these seasons, there is a partnership between the creator of these seasons and us who utilize these seasons. Kuna sisi tunalima, tunawacha, tunapalilia. Like, there is a season there is a systematic way of doing these things. But then it says all this comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful. You might be thinking that you are the one behind the planning, but the actually fulfillment of that planning is because the one whose plan is wonderful is behind all that you do. Like, plans zake ziko poa. Wisdom yake ni magnificent. That is what the word of God says. Giving us examples. Grain must be ground to make bread. Unga ya ugali kuna vile mahindi inakuwa converted. The same mahindi kuna vile inatengeneza something else. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. And it's the start of the year, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many things that the Lord will enable us to do. But but we should never get to a place where we think it's our own plans. It's how wonderful, how wonderfully written our plans were, that when we came to implement it, things worked. We're starting the year. It's week 3. And I want to assure you that the one whose plan is wonderful is behind everything that we get to do. Can we trust him? Can we fully walk in him and walk with him? Can you invite him today and say, you know, the Lord, God, I know I've planned tomorrow I'm going to do this. I'm going to palilia, or rather I'm going to plow. Yeah, yes, I'll do that. But I'll not do that continually, because after that, kutakuwa nini kuweka seed, and you are going to be with me in doing that. And the Lord whose plan is wonderful, I pray that what I do, the plans that I have, you know, shall come to pass. Because without you, those plans ni ideas too. Wengi wanalima ikuji, kutegemea nguvu zetu haingia ni vizuri, hesabu inaharibika. Usijitegemee. This is a realization that, you know, even the plowing and the planting and all these things, and even knowing how to have this particular plant versus the other one, how to prepare this one, ndio hii itoe bread, lazima tufanye nini, tutengeneze hii wheat ikuwe in another way. Na saa ingine unagundua is something that we all know. Like ukiuliza mtu huyu unga inatoka, anakwambia ni mahindi tulivuna tukafanya hivi tukakausha tukapeleka hapa. Labda hata afanye. Such wisdom in us, such knowledge in us ni Mungu. So all this also comes from the Lord Almighty, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent. Utaenda kwa nani ndugu yangu? Utatrust nani dada yangu? Ebu kaa kwa ule ambaye plan yake ni wonderful na wisdom yake ni magnificent. Then watu wanashangaa, hey, how intelligent is this individual? You know, your things are working, your plans are coming to fruition. You know, what you say you do is because you know, hata whatever you plan, imewekwa ndani yako na nani? Na the master planner. The Lord's plan is wonderful. So this 2024, you plan, but know there is a master planner whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent. You know, the ability to say nitakuwa hivi, nitafanya hivi when others are going route A, or unasema hii sitaenda route A. You know, there is a way you can get to route A in a better way. Like those you know, those ways of doing things. Yenye watu wanashangaa, huyu kwani anafikirianga aje? It's because if you allow God, you know, to take over even your thinking, hapo ndio tutabaki. Tutasema, nyewe huyu, na inakanga tu simple, lakini mambo yake inaendanga vizuri. Ni kwa sababu hautawahi fika mahali useme ni, you know, I'm a wonderful planner. No. You'll always attribute it to the Lord, your God. This year, your plans shall succeed. This year, your ideas shall come to, you know, to fruition. Those business ideas shall become businesses by themselves, because the one who is in you is a master planner. The word says, whose plan is wonderful, whose wisdom is magnificent. Be encouraged, brothers and sisters. Peke yako uwezi bana, lakini ukiwa na Mungu, wacha sisi tutakuwa shocked na ile ambayo utatenda. Testimonies left, right and center. You allowed the one whose plan is wonderful to plan for you, actually to lead you. And you acknowledge that whatever you did, ilikuwa planned. Ni yeye anakuenable, si kwa nguvu zako. The Lord's plan is what? It's wonderful.